Have you ever wondered if the ancient stories from the Bible are just that? Stories? Or could they be echoes of real historical events tied to civilizations we're still unearthing today? What if I told you that archaeology is constantly revealing fascinating connections that blur the lines between myth and history? Let us dive deep into some of the most compelling discoveries that link ancient civilizations to the biblical narrative. First, let's travel to the ancient city of Ur in modern-day Iraq. This was the heart of the Sumerian civilization, one of the oldest in the world. For a long time, the biblical figure Abraham, said to have come from Ur of the Chaldees, was considered purely mythical. But then, in the 1920s, archaeologist Sir Leonard Woolley excavated the royal cemetery of Ur. He found magnificent tombs, stunning gold artifacts, and detailed records of a sophisticated society. He uncovered a bustling metropolis that thrived thousands of years ago, matching the Bible's description of a significant city. While we haven't found a birth certificate for Abraham, discovering the real, thriving city of Ur gives his story a tangible historical backdrop. It moves his origin from a vague, mythical place to a specific, powerful urban center that actually existed. Next, let's talk about the Hittites. For centuries, historians dismissed the Hittites as a minor, insignificant tribe mentioned only in the Bible. Critics even claimed they were a biblical invention. Then, in the early 20th century, archaeologists in Turkey unearthed the ruins of a massive city called Hattusa. They found thousands of clay tablets, which revealed the forgotten history of a mighty Hittite empire, a superpower that rivaled ancient Egypt and Babylon. The tablets detailed their laws, treaties, and military campaigns. One of the most famous discoveries was a copy of the Treaty of Kadesh, a peace treaty between the Hittites and Egyptians, which is also documented in Egyptian records. Suddenly, this fictional biblical people were proven to be a major player on the world stage, exactly as the Old Testament had described. Now, what about King David? For a long time, there was no physical evidence outside the Bible to prove his existence. He was often relegated to the realm of national legend, much like King Arthur of Britain. But that all changed in 1993. At Tel Dan, an archaeological site in northern Israel, a team discovered a fragmented stone monument, or stele. Etched into this black basalt stone was an Aramaic inscription from an enemy king boasting of his victories over the King of Israel and the House of David. This was the first ever extra-biblical reference to King David's dynasty. It was a groundbreaking discovery that provided concrete, historical evidence for one of the Bible's most famous figures, shifting the debate from "Did David exist?" to "What was his kingdom actually like?" These are just a few examples, but the list goes on. We have the Moabite stone, which mentions Omri, king of Israel. We have Assyrian records that name several Israelite and Judean kings like Ahab and Hezekiah. Each discovery doesn't necessarily prove the entire Bible, but it does show that its authors were writing within a real historical context. They knew the names of kings, the locations of cities, and the politics of neighboring empires. The relationship between archaeology and the Bible isn't about finding a magic bullet that proves every story. Instead, it's about building a rich, detailed picture of the ancient world. It shows us that the people and places mentioned in these ancient texts were part of a real, interconnected world. It grounds these powerful stories of faith and human experience in the tangible soil of history. So the next time you read these ancient texts, remember the real cities, the powerful empires, and the stone inscriptions that connect us back to their world. Thanks so much for exploring these incredible connections with me today. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, please hit that like button and be sure to subscribe for more deep dives into history and archaeology. See you in the next video.